Hi, I'm Tara and this is Katie from Film Club, and we are live from the BFI London Film Festival and have been lucky enough to be joined today by Justin Johnson, who is a BFI children's programmer. Hello and welcome to Film Club.
Thank you very much. Hello.
I'd also like to give a special mention to West Lakes Academy, who are watching.
Hello, West Lakes Academy. Okay, hi Justin.
Hello.
Can you tell us a bit about your role during the London Film Festival?
Yes, so what I do for the London Film Festival is I programme films which are really geared towards children. Sometimes they're animated films and sometimes they're live action films.
Okay.
And in fact, throughout the year at the British Film Institute here at the South Bank in London, I programme films for actually all different ages, to be honest. We show lots of different films here throughout the year. So it's actually like a sort of film festival all the way year round, because we have lots of guests who come with them as well.
But you must be especially busy.
This is a really, really busy time because actually just over this 12-day period, we're showing over 200 films all over London in lots of different venues. So it's a really, really busy time. Very concentrated.
But I hadn't realised it was that many. 200.
Yeah, it's massive, really massive.
It's a lot. Okay. Are there any films you could specifically recommend for our 12 to 18-year-old film clubbers?
Obviously, we opened with Frankenweenie, which I know on the surface a lot of people just think about as being a kids' film, but actually one of the reasons why it was chosen as the opening night film for the festival is because it really does kind of cross over completely, because it's a very beautifully crafted animated film. It's subject about a little boy who loses his pet dog dies, but he brings him back to life again in the kind of Frankenstein style. It's definitely got enough kind of horror kind of resonance and appeal, I think, to kind of talk on both levels, because obviously people who are older and know horror films kind of see references in there to the different films that they might have grown up loving, and for kids as well, it's a really accessible sort of fun story. So that's obviously really good. And then we're closing with Great Expectations, which is a kind of classic Charles Dickens
Again, it's quite gothic, isn't
and once again it's got a very gothic feel to it. It does have kind of good cross appeal as well, because a lot of people think actually of Charles Dickens as being, and these are people who haven't read it, I would say, because Charles Dickens is just the stories are amazing and they're always funny and moving and horrible. But actually, Great Expectations is a very accessible, it's fun, it's exciting, it's horrific at times. It's got a great cast.
Lots of comedy in there.
Lots of comedy, like David Walliams are in it, is in it, and I mean, just a whole raft of kind of like great British actors. Helena Bonham Carter plays Miss Havisham. So, and actually, obviously, having Tim Burton opening the festival and Helena Bonham Carter closing the festival.
That's a power couple.
It is a power couple. And in fact, on Saturday night we're giving them a BFI fellowship, which is our kind of highest kind of award or recognition we can give anybody, and we're going to be giving it to both of them on Saturday night.
It's well deserved.
Yeah, really well deserved.
Yeah. Okay, so whilst we're talking about the festival, have you got any predictions for the Best Film Award?
Well, I know that you're covering some of the films this week, aren't you?
Yeah.
Law obviously is in the competition.
Yeah, that's the Australian.
This is the Australian film. Yeah. It's based on the Booker Prize winning or nominated novel, and I know that's very highly thought of. But actually, there's the Jake Gyllenhaal film Days of Watch. Days of Watch. End of.
Is that him directing it?
No, he's in that one.
Is it in it? Okay.
I mean, it's not in the competition, but Ben Affleck's Argo is very widely tipped as being a possible one to watch for next year's Oscars.
Okay.
So although it's not in the competition for the festival award, I think that's one that definitely people are looking out for as being a real contender.
Okay. So there you have it, hot off the press. Ben Affleck's Argo. Yeah. We'll look out for that.
I think that's the third film he's directed actually. So as well as being a good actor, he's a really good director.
Sought after Hollywood director these days.
Really, really good.
So how did you get into your career at BFI, and what are the perks of your job?
Well, I used to do a lot of writing and sort of stuff on the radio about kind of films generally, and was increasingly kind of more focusing on animation and children's films. And I started going to a lot of the children's film festivals around the world, and developed, sort of with the BFI kind of strategy for bringing the films that, because the festival never used to have a children's or family strand as such. So the perks for me are I get the opportunity to go to the Berlin Film Festival every year, which is like a real showcase for family films throughout for the whole year from all over the world. I quite often go and sit on juries in different film festivals, and I'm one of the organisers of the BAFTA Children's Awards and the BAFTA Children's Committee, and actually through my job, I get to meet the most fantastic people, very kind of interesting, creative people who are at the forefront of filmmaking. Because whenever we bring them over, we always will show a film with them, and then I'll kind of sit on stage rather like we are now and talk to them about their work in front of an audience. Okay. So I get the opportunity to meet amazing people.
Oh. I guess you're right at the heart of it, working at the BFI, and a lot of those skills are skills that our film club talent development members can try, so things like Q&A skills and reviewing and programming and reporting, so sounds great.
We have a question from St Joseph's Voluntary Academy, and they ask, how do you make animated films look real?
That's a good question. I mean, increasingly, I think there is this kind of holy grail of making a film animated but actually look completely real, and there are companies like Pixar who have kind of flirted with it to an extent in terms of
things
if
like
you look
Brave.
at if you look at Brave most recently, the human characters in there, or The Incredibles, compared to when the first computer generated films that they made, like the original Toy Story. If you look at Andy and the original Toy Story and actually how kind of clunky by comparison the animation seems, and look at what they're animating now, or if you look at a film like Tintin, which is using motion capture, so basically the actors in those films wear suits with these little kind of sucker pads on them, and it records exactly how they move and how they do, so they're performing
Much
the character
more advanced.
and they're doing it through a computer and animating it in the way that Gollum was in The Lord of the Rings, or the Polar Express was one of the first films to experiment with that. So there is this kind of ambition now to try and make it as real as possible, even though it's animated.
And our film club reporter, Michael, was actually lucky enough to interview the director and writer of Gimme The Loot, Adam Leon. The film is all about two young graffiti artists in Brooklyn. So here's the report.
Film Club gives young people access to a wide range of films. Why do you think it is important for young people to watch a wide range of different films rather than blockbusters?
Well, I think that, first of all, thank you. I'm really happy to be here. I didn't have anything as cool as Film Club when I was growing up in the States, but I was really lucky that my mother exposed me to a lot of different types of movies when I was a kid. And I think that movies can take you to places that you could never go to on your own and show you experiences from all over the world. And I think that there's a lot of different people out there in the world that have different perspectives, and movies are a wonderful way to sort of experience that in also a way that's very entertaining and fun, because they're movies. Just because they're not blockbusters doesn't mean that they're not fun. That's what we tried to do with our movies, to make something that was really entertaining and exciting, but on a small scale.
Why did you choose to film in New York?
Well, I grew up in New York, and I love it. I really love growing up in the city, and I know the city very well, and there's such great energy in New York, and I wanted to capture that. And I also, New York is a place that I think is shown a lot in movies and on TV, but I wanted to show a bit of New York that I think normally isn't seen, and I think that was very exciting for me to do that.
So, how did you raise the money to get your film into festivals?
That's a tough question. That was a hard process. It's a very low budget movie, so that was good. I worked with an incredible team of producers, actually 2 British producers, and we just we've been working in the film industry for a little bit, and we just talked to people who have done this before, went to a lot of different conferences, did a lot of research, and it's kind of boring, but we created a business plan, and then we went out to different people that we knew that were involved in movies or that were friends of ours, and we just sort of rounded it up from any kind of way that we could. We pieced it together, and really did it for very little money.
Now, what is your impression on graffiti? Do you think it's good or bad?
Well, I think it's an art, and so like all art, there's parts of it that you can have good graffiti and you can have bad graffiti. I think there's something also more complicated about it. I didn't grow up as a graffiti writer, and I always have a little bit of conflicting views. But I am very fascinated with the idea of these people who really want to express themselves, which I can identify with as a filmmaker, but they take these incredible physical risks, risks from the law to do that, and so I don't really have a judgment on it necessarily. There's sometimes I can see a work of graffiti and really love it, but I don't know if the movie sort of judges that as much as there's a fascination with the idea of somebody doing it.
Yo, let's go.
What directors have inspired you?
There's so many. There's well, I think the first filmmaker that inspired me was George Lucas and the Star Wars movies, the original Star Wars movies that I grew up on. That really made me want to be a filmmaker. As I grew up, Woody Allen, as somebody who grew up in New York, that's a filmmaker that really meant a lot to me. And there's a filmmaker named Robert Altman who really is somebody who, as I grew up, I felt a real sort of I really liked his style and his point of view.
Now, what kind of genre would you say your film is?
I think it's an adventure. I don't know, does that count as a genre? I think maybe action adventure, although there aren't really explosions, and it's comedic as well. So we really wanted to take these kids who have kind of a tough life, but I knew these kids, I know these kids growing up, and they're not necessarily, just because their lives are tough, they're not necessarily miserable. So we wanted to just have fun. So there's a heist element to it, they're running all over the city, they're getting into trouble, they're jumping up and down on, climbing buildings, and so I'd say it's sort of like a low-budget indie action movie.
I mistook it for a little bit of a romance because of the action between the two characters, which leads me on to my next question, which is, what kind of relationship do the two characters have?
Yeah, I think that there is a certain kind of romance to it. It's not a traditional romance where they're not actually dating, but they're really, I think they love each other very much, and it's a teenage boy and a teenage girl, and they give each other a hard time, and they're always kind of cursing each other out, but at the same time, I think that they make each other better people, and they really care about each other, and the movie only takes place over the course of 2 days, but I think that they don't really necessarily learn that much or grow that much, but I think that they sort of understand their relationship a little bit better, and that there really is a love there. And yeah, I like to think of it as a love story.
A favorite film you would recommend for Film Club?
Wow, do I have a favorite film that I would recommend for Film Club? So, my movie? Gimme The Loot? That's a really hard question. I don't really know, what are like some typical movies that Film Club has seen?
Well, it depends on what they choose to show. It can be like action, comedy, romance, serious.
Well, I'll go back to Woody Allen, who's somebody I really grew up loving, and when I was a kid growing up, I really loved his movie Sleeper, which is sort of a comic sci-fi movie. So I don't know if that fits into the profile of Film Club, but.
Now, could you summarize your film in 3 words?
No, I can't. In 3 words. Can I summarize my movie in 3 words? That is a tough one. I would say New York adventure.
Now, what's next for you, and what do you intend to do in the future?
Well, I love doing this so much. I've wanted to do this since I was younger than you, and it's been a fun ride being able to make the feature, and I just want to be able to make more of them and tell more stories, and so in different places and of different sort of themes. And so I'm writing, and I'm just trying to get another one off the ground.
Well, I look forward to seeing your next movie.
Thank you. I look forward to having you see it.
Well, thank you for your time, and good luck with any future projects.
Thank you so much. This was great. I think this is my best interview yet. So thank you.
Thank you.
That was a really promising debut feature there from Adam Leon, I think it is, and it's quite interesting, that film. They actually raise loads of the funds online, so if you're trying to make films like that, you can use social media to actually raise the funds. They used a Kickstarter campaign, so look out for it. Gimme The Loot. I'll be adding it to my DVD wish list, I think.
I think so will I, and my film club wish list, of course. I found it quite interesting how the director was saying there that he was influenced by Woody Allen and George Lucas, and I'm just wondering how he will actually incorporate those influences into his urban drama, because I haven't actually seen it yet. Justin, do you have any favourite Woody Allen films?
I love Woody Allen, and even the films that a lot of people knock I really like, but I love Zelig, which was this kind of it was a mock documentary about this kind of human chameleon who kind of just blends into any scenario, and it's really funny, really, it's about probably an hour and 10 minutes long, but it's really great.
Okay, Zelig. I don't know that one. I'll have to look out for that one. Manhattan is my favourite. That's obvious choice.
Midnight in Paris I actually really liked.
Very good.
So,
Oscar.
Yes, won the Oscar last year. So.
Okay, so there you've got it. Midnight in Paris, Zelig, Manhattan. Lots of Woody Allen films. Lots of films about New York. But now we're going to move on from New York to Germany. Our next clip is from a lead actress in a film called Laura, or Law, which is another big feature film. This time it's from a director from Australia called Kate Shortland, and it's all about World War II in Germany. Have you seen it, Tara?
I haven't seen it yet, actually, but I know it's set in 1945 Germany, and it's exploring it from the controversial perspective of a young daughter of two Nazi perpetrators. So a bit of a different take on it. But let's watch the interview now.
Let's watch it.
Could you summarise the film up in 3 or more words?
Actually about Laura, this young 15-year-old girl. That was actually more than 3 words. About this young girl, and the story takes place in Germany 1945, and she's a girl from Nazis, and has then... It's the whole thing about getting to know that your life was a lie.
Unser Führer ist tot, Lore. Was haben wir getan?
So, this is your big first feature role. What was it like filming, and how did you like it?
I did like it really very, very much. I was really excited, but I had no idea what I was thrown into. So because it was my first film, I was so inexperienced and just didn't know what it means to be an actress and what it means to make a film. And it was a really tough topic, so not easy to embody this character. But I learned so much. For me, it was really one of my greatest experiences I had.
What was it like working outside for so long?
Nature really was helpful, because when you feel the wind and the ground under your feet, it's really helpful.
What do you think people can learn from the film about history?
It's a really new perspective. I never thought about this point of view before. Because this young girl, Laura, gets to know that her father was a murderer and that her whole life was a lie, and she has to trust somebody she was told to hate. So she learns, and the audience knows that we are all human beings. So and that your life can suddenly be so different, and you have to order it completely in a new way.
How did you prepare for your big role?
I got part of this project just a few days before rehearsals started, so I didn't really have time to prepare. My preparation was to talk a lot about this character with Kate, and to sing songs that they sang in the BDM, so in that time the young girls and I watched documentaries, and I read the novel The Dark Room, and another book Kate gave to me, and we had a lot of rehearsals. That was really important because we were improvising a lot and just trying to feel the character and to develop it.
What's next for you, and what are your future plans in acting?
Well, I just finished school and I did 2 other films after Lore, and now I'm just doing castings. So maybe there will come another one, but I'm not sure actually. I'm working in my hometown, and I'd like to travel a bit, and if there's another project I really would like to do it, but let's see.
That was a very talented Michael you were just watching there, doing his first interview with a kind of up-and-coming German star, and it's quite a harrowing film. It's quite heavy, but if you're sort of in sixth form and you're interested in World War II and history, I think it's a really educational film because it looks at things from another point of view. So I'd recommend it for any history students or anyone just interested in Germany and the war.
It does look very fascinating and very original, and it would definitely help me with my A-level course. So I will add it to my wish list. Justin, what do you think of the film?
I haven't seen it, but it's been very well received. It's based on a great book, great kind of up-and-coming director, so I think it's definitely got all the right criteria.
Yeah. If any history students actually want to watch the, well, if they want to read the book that it's based on before they watch the film, the book is called The Dark Room, I think, and it's, again, would really help with any history studies. So I think that's sadly all we've got time for. Yeah, it's been very brief. So thank you very much to Justin Johnson for coming in from the BFI, well, for staying where you are at the BFI, for coming downstairs to the BFI basement.
Thank you for being here.
It's very glamorous, and we hope you're looking forward to Law and Gimme The Loot as much as we are.
Don't forget to check out our website for details of our really cool Frankenweenie competition, where your school could win an exclusive screening of the film, and you have until Wednesday the 24th of October, so don't miss out.
It's not long, actually.
No, it's not long, so, you know, crack on with that. Join us at the same time tomorrow, where we will be bringing you interviews with the Beasts of the Southern Wild, Ginger and Rosa, and the Quartet, which features the legendary Justin Hoffman. So thanks for watching again, and we'll see you then.
See you tomorrow. Bye-bye.